I was taught martial arts from the age of 5. And during that whole time, in my formative years, I had the values of discipline, consistency, respect, etiquette, commitment, all drilled into me in my own family values. I was always taught the value of your education, working hard, keeping your life simple, and just valuing memories and experiences in life, things that money can't buy. And once you find that, then you can actually find happiness. And our life without adversity doesn't lead to self-development as well. I would, if I was 19 again, I would impart all my wisdom of telling myself just to take a step back, look at every situation, and ask myself if the current path I'm on is the most effective and direct route to get there. Most often, we find one path and then we just go straight down at 200 kilometers an hour. But if we just, whatever situation we're in, whatever decisions we're faced with, if we just take a step back, look at your various alternatives and look at your circumstances and say, which one would be the best one for you to ensure overall well-being, and take that one to make sure that your mind, body, and soul can go through it in a good space and being healthy and happy and at peace. That's what I would do. However, the drawbacks with a lot of things are that people are suffering a lot of mental health issues, and I seem to find that a lot of expectations are being placed on people because of social media. We're always comparing ourselves with the next person, and then in doing so, if person A has done more things than us, we then look at their profile and think, okay, what am I doing with my life now? And then start doubting yourself. So that can be a negative drawback, which you've seen can impact people with self-esteem and can affect the way they view themselves. So I think when you go onto social media, and this is my opinion, have a clear objective of why you're using the app or whatever app you're using. But I think people can, negatively get consumed in the social media bubble and spend a lot of time just scrolling through and wasting precious seconds of the day. When you exercise, you release endorphins and you just feel better about yourself. And I found that over time, firstly, when I was studying, I would go for a run, and I normally train twice a day. So whenever I was feeling a bit, when I felt that I reached my mental capacity when it came to handling volume, I would normally just go for a 20-minute jog. And just being able to clear my mind and not focus on the books gave me more energy to then get back and apply myself towards my work, right? So it definitely helps provide that release, and a healthy release as well. I would say that you must keep your life simple. Every single high performer that I know has lived a simple life. They focus on the important things that are relevant to them, and they zoom in on it with laser focus. And the reason this is important is because we live in an age full of distraction. If you go out to a restaurant and you look around you, almost everyone is looking at their phone while waiting for food. People are not engaged in conversations. You look at people's attention spans, they've reduced. That's why you've got direct marketers now targeting social media platforms with short and sharp answers and short and sharp adverts, because they know that the consumer only has a few seconds before they lose interest. And this is because our attention is placed in so many different spaces. If you're at work, you've got your instant message in Skype, then you've got Zoom, then you've got your emails and someone's trying to call you, then you've got tasks, and then you've got to interact with your colleagues, and then you've got other meetings. So we live in a world full of distraction where people become paralyzed by it. And we also become so focused on using apps and technology. I mean, not that tech's a bad thing, but we get to a point where we're so overwhelmed because we've made our lives overly complex, because we want to be more sophisticated and think we're more sophisticated. So we've added more complexity to our life. And in doing so, we've taken 3 steps backwards. Whereas all your high performers are extremely simple people. They have simple lifestyles. They choose the most direct route to get from point A to B. They remove all the middlemen and they focus solely on the tasks that. So competitiveness is great. You need it because without it, there won't be progress, right? If two businesses are competing with each other, or industries compete, then what did you get? You get innovation, right? You get more products, you get better products, better functionality, better services. So there is a positive in terms of competitiveness, breeding innovation, which I'm all for, but simply put as well, the disadvantage of competitiveness, if not managed well, can lead to people burning out, placing too much pressure on themselves, and having, a lot of other mental health issues, such as anxiety and depression. I had set an objective, and because I set an objective, I was competing with myself to bring out the best that I can be. And this is a point that most people miss in competition and in life, right? Life is a marathon. Life is not a sprint. But life, ideally, you should be journeying through life being a better person than you were the day before. When you're older, you should be a better person than you were when you were young, right? Ideally. And because people don't try and be the best person and the best version of themselves that they can be, they lose the plot. They try and chase someone else. And then they lose the bigger picture of what the meaning of life is. I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to learn to play soccer, right? What people will do nowadays, one, they'll watch a YouTube video, right? Then they'll sit on the couch and learn the rules of the game. Then they could watch a soccer match. And then maybe later on, they'll go out there and practice or play a game. But would you agree with me that the most direct route would be to scrap all the noise, just find a soccer ball, find some friends and start kicking the ball and practicing deliberately in that field? Because then you're going to become better. And that's the thing that a lot of people miss these days. They get so caught up in all the distraction, all the noise, they forget the core principles and what needs to be done to give the most immediate change and provide the most direct result. So simplicity is the number one piece of advice I would give anyone. I'm a big believer that for you to be a real high performer, you have to unify your mind, body, and soul towards your purpose and passion in life. And if the body is not well, but your mind is sharp and your soul is sharp, then you will be limited. If your mind is not well and your body is sharp and your soul is sharp, you're going to be limited as well. And the same applies to your soul. You can have a strong body and strong mind, but if your soul is broken, you're going to lack the willpower